Hi, my name is Gloria. Last time I talked about the importance of making decisions. I mentioned that those who make decisions are those who are present minded in their circumstance, in their environment, towards the goal that they want to achieve. Decision is to conceptualize something in your mind, and then you design the vehicle that will make you attain that which you conceived in your mind. Today, I would have been talking about focus, but permit me as I intend to deviate a little bit. So, today we'll be talking about the five characters that make decisions. Every one of us fall within these five characters. Some of us have more than one of these characters. Now, the first on the list are the carefree character. These people do not take decision whatsoever. They don't make any kind of decision. They just live their life as it comes. For them, life happens. Things will always happen. So as long as they're alive, things can be good, things can be bad, no one is to blame, you just live it through. So if the good time comes, they enjoy it very well. And if the bad time comes, they equally know how to endure that. There are a lot of people around us who are not living actively in their world. They just give themselves a chance. And we know what happens. If you're not active in your life, in your destiny, life will definitely take the front seat for you. Number two of the characters in decision making are the lazy decision makers. These people understand that good and bad things happen. They don't like the bad things, they just like the good things, but they will never take the pain to make this decision. They believe that some supernatural force, some God, deity, whatever is going to be responsible for their life. In fact, you will hear them often say something like this: my life is in God's hands. God is in control. God has planned it for me, and things like that. We are not saying that God does not exist and that God does not plan our lives and do things for us. Okay. But the thing with these people is they don't even want to, they are the people that make mistake here, there, and all the time. They don't sit down to say, why is this happening? They just feel some sort of entitlement that, look, this is what I want, and without any effort of mine, it is going to happen. Sometimes they expect us to give them what they want without putting the effort to get it. These are the lazy decision makers. Of course, we know that there are consequences to this. Number three on the character list of decision makers are the fearful decision makers. You may have come across some of them, you may have seen them, you might even be one of them. These people just do not believe in themselves. They don't believe they can get anything right. They have a sort of personality problem. Sometimes it's as a result of what has happened to them in the past. And so they are afraid of taking responsibility for their lives, for actions, for their environment. They just sort of look at it like, hey, I don't want to feel another burnt. I don't want to, be harassed or humiliated. So I rather show off the responsibility of taking decision to someone, environment, or to people. These people are the procrastinators. They never make up their mind because, as far as they're concerned, nothing good can come out from anything they might make the effort to do. So they don't take the burden of making any decision for themselves. They are the ones that would always seek opinion, and when you give them some solutions or some ideas, they would never act on them. These are the fearful decision makers. They just don't want to seem less, or, they don't want to be caught to be wrong or caught to have embarrassed themselves. So they rather shy out from making any meaningful decision for their lives. The fourth on the character list of decision makers are the negative decision makers. For whatever reasons, these people believe that for them to be happy, for them to make anything worthwhile, someone has to pay for it. Someone has to bear the brunt for it. Someone has to be responsible for the garbage of that. Negative decision makers are self-centered, egocentric, always seeking to please themselves at to the detriment of others and to the detriment of the environment or situation they may find themselves. They are the go-getters, actually. They will stop at nothing to achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve, something just personal for selfish gratification. So every time they are making decisions, somebody somewhere will have to cry as a result, and they don't care. The last on the character list of decision makers are positive decision makers. Positive decision makers believe that there must be checks and balance to the things that you do. They pay attention to the options available to them, to the choices that they have to make. And these people, sometimes the other part of this positive decision making is you might overdo it. They might take a longer time to arrive at a decision. But the thing is, for a positive decision maker, it's a win-win situation. There's check and the balance. They have this humane feeling and they care about consequence as much as they care for the rewards that they look to get. Every one of us falls around this decision-making character. Some of us have more than one of them. But the thing about making decision is what we intend to achieve and why. So sometimes we might actually find ourselves as carefree decision makers. Sometimes we might even find ourselves as lazy decision makers. Sometimes we might find ourselves as fearful decision makers, or we might even find ourselves as negative decision makers and then as positive decision makers. For the positive decision makers, this is further divided into 4. Although I won't talk about them now, I will do that in my next video. So for every time you're making decision, try and ponder, he's sleeping. I wanted to make him sleep before, but he was just not cooperating. Now he's sleeping.